Hi there, my name's Maddie, and today I'm going to be going over the VCE Psychology Unit 4 Area of Study 2 dot point number 4. Now, this dot point states, and it's a long one, but it follows on directly from what we were doing last episode, so if you haven't watched that out, check that out. Now, this is evidence-based interventions and their use for specific phobia with reference to the use of GABA agonists in the management of phobic anxiety and breathing retraining, the use of cognitive behavioural therapy or CBT and systematic desensitization as a psychotherapeutic treatment of phobia, and psychoeducation for families/supporters with reference to challenging unrealistic or anxious thoughts and not encouraging avoidance behaviours. So let's get straight to it now. I offer psychology tutoring, which you can book via the link in the description. And we are going to be using today the Complete Psychology Units 3 and 4 notes package, which you can also grab a copy of via the link in the description. So, in terms of evidence-based interventions for specific phobia, we look at biological, psycho, and social. So we've got the biological, that was supposed to draw a circle. We've got the biological interventions. So first up, we have benzodiazepines. So these are GABA agonists, meaning they imitate the inhibitory actions of GABA in the brain, which act to substitute the lack of GABA in the brain, which is occurring in GABA dysfunction. So this is a direct response to those who have specific phobia because of their GABA dysfunction, and it reduces the severity of this phobic response. So there's a few key points here. They're highly addictive, so are only used in the short term, such as when confronting the phobic stimulus is unavoidable. So if you have to go on a plane flight and there's no choice and it's sudden and you don't have time to do any other way of reducing this stress, then you might go on benzodiazepines for the duration of the flight so that your phobia doesn't stop you from going on this flight. They're short-acting, so the effects are usually peak only a few hours after initial dosing. Well, they're usually short-acting. There are different types, but we usually say they're short-acting. GABA agonists stimulate the site of the postsynaptic neurons where GABA would usually be received, causing the inhibitory effect that GABA would usually have. By allowing the speed of messages along neural pathways to slow down, the severity of the phobic response is also reduced. So rather than this fear pathway being the neural connection associated with the fear being activated a lot really quickly, it decreases, which means you get less anxious or stressed, or your phobic response is lessened because this pathway is being activated less. Whilst under the influence of benzodiazepines, many individuals report feeling that they are in a trance-like state. So there's all, because the thing with the benzodiazepines is they can't just target the stress. So they're really slowing down your whole brain, or a lot of different parts of your brain, and you're going to feel a bit groggy. Everything is going to go a lot slower because, and again, the trance-like state that people report because everything's going slower while in this. Now, in terms of the biological, we have breathing retraining, where individuals learn how to breathe in a slow and deep manner, helping to prevent the hyperventilation commonly associated with the fear response. So hyperventilation reduces the level of oxygen in the blood, which creates a sense of lightheadedness and nausea, which can exacerbate the fear response. This breathing retraining interrupts this process, instead helping the body calm down and reducing the fear response by teaching people to breathe slowly so that they're getting more air into their lungs and they're more able to, they get more oxygen in their blood and they're a lot calmer. So psychological interventions we then move on to is, first of all, cognitive behavioural therapy. So individuals work with a medical professional, such as a psychologist, and are encouraged to seek out information which disputes their beliefs about their phobias, removing the belief that they must avoid the phobic stimulus at all costs. So when we look at this, it's easy to split it up into the cognitive and the behavioural sections. Now we do this because when you're in your responses, often marks are allocated for the cognitive section and then marks are allocated for the behavioural section. So it's important that you can clearly differentiate the cognitive and the behavioural effects in your response, but also show how they're working together. The cognitive aspect is the identification of negative thoughts and feelings associated with the specific phobia and the consequent process of replacing these with more positive thoughts. And the behavioural is individuals identify behaviours which are associated with their phobia, and they work to develop and maintain more positive behaviours. So both these will work together in order to reduce a phobia. Systematic desensitization is then the second kind of behavioural, of psychological interventions that we have, where individuals again work with a medical professional to practice replacing a phobic response with a relaxation response. The process which a professional may follow in performing systematic desensitization is outlined below. So, initially, the person is taught a relaxation technique such as breathing retraining. So they're learning just how to breathe calmly. You might count to 3 while you breathe in and then count to 3 while you breathe out, like that kind of thing, just to make sure that the person is really deliberately breathing deeply. They then practice using this technique. After this, they create a fear hierarchy, placing the complete confrontation with the phobic stimulus at the top, with the thing that's the least confrontational at the bottom. So if we have a specific phobia of rocks, holding a rock would be absolutely the most stressful thing that this person could possibly have to do. So you put this at the very top of the fear hierarchy. Then you work your way upwards. So you work, what's the least stressful and most achievable thing you could do? Well, look at a photo of a pebble, right? So you put that at the bottom, and then you're working upwards with things that are more and more stressful before you get to the top, which is the complete confrontation with the phobic stimulus. So you're working gradually and systematically to pair the stimuli at the bottom of the hierarchy with the previously learned relaxation technique. And you're doing this until confrontation no longer elicits a fear response, and you're moving up to the next thing in the hierarchy and repeating. You continue this process until the individual can fully confront the main phobic stimulus without eliciting the fear response. So you're doing this with a medical professional until you can actually hold a rock without it eliciting this fear response, which has created the specific phobia. Then we have the social interventions. Now, these are psychoeducation. So educate the individual's family and or close friends on the person's phobia, then teach them the importance of not encouraging avoidance behaviours and helping the person identify irrational thoughts surrounding the phobia. So this helps the person identify the actions they take because of their phobia and work to change them, helping lessen their phobic response. So that is it for this episode. Now, next episode, we will be looking at the maintenance of mental well-being. So we'll look at biopsychosocial approach to maintaining mental well-being and cultural determinants like cultural continuity and self-determination. That'll come afterwards. So that's the last stop point. So make sure you like and subscribe. You can grab these notes via the link in the description, and you can book a tutoring session with me via the link in the description. And I look forward to seeing you there. Thank you so much, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.